Man, right before I uploaded my last video, the Monday one, I had a great idea for a Warhammer Wednesday video, and now I'm working on this and I can't remember it for the life of me.
I hate when that happens. Well, what about the Helldivers collaboration thing?
Nah, I'll be honest, that doesn't really interest me. Hell, I feel like that game actively hates me for having given them money for it. Hell, every time the players start having fun, the developers nerf the player base into the ground, then buff the NPCs into heaven. The Robo City event thing was literally unwinnable, so players were just burning the in-game currency by spending resources on it.
Aren't you a Dark Souls guy? Don't you like challenge?
Difference being, if I die in Dark Souls, I have a chance to gain more on top of what I lost. Often double if I spent as much as possible at the last bonfire. Imagine if every time you died in Dark Souls, all of your souls you collected went up in smokes. That's what Arrowhead is essentially doing with every single event they do. That's all I want to say about that game. Let's move on.
Jeez, okay, Eldari on dinosaurs?
I think I could talk about that, but unfortunately the Exodite models aren't out yet, but will within a month or so. Hell, probably right now is a damn possibility, I just don't know. They're coming out with the game Kill Team in mind, but almost all models in that game are also usable in the 40k game. But at this moment, I can't really say much. From a lore perspective, I could actually say some things, but not a lot. Wait, actually, that's not a bad idea.
What's your idea? A discussion about the Eldari and their subraces and factions?
Yeah, actually.
Did you do that with the elf hate video?
Did I? I don't think so. I think I just gave a reason I don't like them. I know the Eldar got their army rule completely changed. Their entire army now plays different than what it was a year ago, really, when they had legal cheating.
I'll admit, I don't really like the Eldari Assyrians, but I'm trying my best to forgive them and seek forgiveness for what I've done to them.
You are the clone of a homunculus. How much have you done to them?
I had a chair that still breathed and screamed for mercy. I once removed the bones from a human and used his still alive skin and organs as a blanket. And let's see, there was that time I injected a guy's eyes with fluids that would cause him to never be able to close them and thus dive into madness. I'm awful. I'm absolutely horrible. Oh God.
I can't argue with that, but you're trying to be better, and I'd argue actually succeeding, weirdly enough. But let's get on to this subject. Eldar, one of the 3 oldest creatures in the Milky Way galaxy in the 40k setting. Right next to the orcs, and probably slightly younger than the Necrontyr, which no longer exist in the 41st millennium. They, at one point, literally owned the galaxy, salvaging it from the Necrontyr Empire. On the table, there are 3, arguably 4, soon to be 5, and 4 again, different kinds of Eldar. As I mentioned before, the Assyrians are the standard tabletop Eldar. They also are known as Craftworlders. They break into many sub-factions, both in table and in the lore. We won't touch on their sub-factions as Craftworlders. They're essentially just different focus paths because that's how Eldar work. They believe in having a constant rotation of mind sets and combat styles in order to prevent from being too comfortable with anything, because the last time they were too comfortable, it led to a thing eating them. The only ones that actually hyper-focus on any one path is their Phoenix Lords, which master their own route in life. A few are on the table, but they tend to be epic heroes. I wish they had more generic options, like how Space Marines have generic captains and such, despite only being 10 in each chapter at most. Now, on the table, the generic Eldar also have the Harlequins, which I did a whole video about in the past. They're followers of the Laughing God, shoot, what was his name again? Sheogorath? No, that's the Oblivion main character. Shub-Niggurath? No, that's Lovecraft Mother of Monsters. Darren, what was that false deity's name?
Chegarak.
Thank you. Harlequins follow Chegarak with the assumption that he's planned everything in the universe,
Just like a certain chaos entity.
Their whole idea is that they just assume that their god knows what he's doing, and he's got a plan to kill Slaanesh. Meanwhile, the Exodites, they're the guys who essentially looked at the fuck shit that was going on with the Eldar Empire and thought, oh, gross, no thank you, and left to go to worlds that were specifically forged to be near paradises. Maiden worlds. Very often, the Empire takes those and makes them paradise worlds now. On these worlds, they worked, meditated, prayed, and one other thing. What was it? Oh, right, they raised dinosaurs to work and fight alongside. Yep, Exodites are essentially your Florida swamp men. When shit hits the fan, they are not affected nearly as horribly as the rest of the real space Eldar. Some didn't even know what happened and just went about their farming and dinosaur wrangling businesses. The Inari are the last sub-faction of Standard Eldar, but looking at their current rules, they might be getting phased out. It's weird to me, but we ain't gotta focus on the table stuff. The Inari intend to collect these magic doohickeys in order to summon their undead, not dead, totally dead god in order to kill the god they made. Their whole vibe was that they're essentially got dudes from every other Eldar faction and put them in the play nice shirt. Speaking of that, there's the tiny sub-faction of the Assyrians that just fuck off. They seem to be primarily criminals by their nature and possibly psychos too, but the Drukhari are the final true faction of the Eldar. They were those who were in the Webway city when shit hit the fan. Slaanesh could still touch them but not immediately kill them. They sat safe in the Webway, but as they began to meet their natural lifespans, they realized they were still feeding Slaanesh. So what did they do? They did the exact same stupid shit that caused Slaanesh to begin with. They tortured, hurt, broke, and worse to random people in order to turn their target's suffering into their own life. Why did they do that? I don't even know how they found out about it. I think Slaanesh just thought it was funny and that's why it works, but I have no idea why they suddenly found out, oh hey, if I stab you and don't kill you, I keep living. Like, how do you find out about that? Some Drukhari allied themselves with the Inari because they have to force themselves to not care about torturing. Nothing by its nature wants to hurt. It's implanted in us by God to be averse to hurting another. And even the damn space elves are the same way. The Eldar have a lot more sub-factions, especially in the craft world denotations. But these are the major factions, and the outcast there, which I might actually be looking into for a future video. We'll find out. Now, I'm going to try and figure out a fun deck. Shove off!